Hello, everyone, and welcome to the RV Inspection and Care podcast and video. I'm Dwayne. I'm a certified RV inspector, and today we're going to be talking about the top 3 tow dollies for towing behind a motorhome. Now, over the years, I've made several videos about flat towing and dolly towing. You can see some of those videos on the screen. And I'll put links to them in the description of this video and podcast if you'd like to get more details about the subject. But for the sake of this video, let's just simply say that flat towing is towing a vehicle behind your motorhome with all 4 wheels right on the ground. Dolly towing is when you trailer one of the axles and only 2 wheels are on the ground. And today I'm going to cover the 3 best tow dollies that I feel I can recommend for you. But before we get into that, let's cover a few things you really should know about tow dollies, both the pros and the cons. First of all, let's start with the advantages. With a tow dolly, you can tow a much wider range of vehicles behind your motorhome than you can with flat towing. It seems that every single year, the list of vehicles that are flat towable from the factory set up that way gets smaller and smaller. But tow dollies give you a wide range of vehicles that you can choose from to take along with you on your RV travels, and that's good. The second pro is that it's usually less expensive to buy a tow dolly than to set up a vehicle for flat towing, because flat towing requires a tow bar, a base plate, braking system, lighting system, and so on, and all that has to be installed, and it can get to be quite a bit of money. And in many cases, you can get into tow dolly towing for a lot less. The third pro we're going to talk about is that very often the braking system for your towed vehicle's right in the tow dolly. And that's pretty good because then you don't need to buy an auxiliary brake system like you do with flat towing. Now, let's talk about some of the cons. First of all, it takes longer, not a lot longer like some people claim, but some longer, to set up and to remove the vehicle on a tow dolly. And it is a little longer. I mean, with flat towing, it's just hook up and unhook. So it's something to consider. The second con, you're going to need to expend some physical effort to get that vehicle strapped down on the tow dolly. So it's going to require a little bit of strength to be able to do that. That's another consideration. And the last thing we want to mention is that once you get where you're going, well, the tow dolly is going to take up some space there on the campsite. And in fact, you're going to have to be able to physically move that tow dolly around and then store it on the campsite somewhere. So again, it's something to think about. Now, there are more pros and cons to tow dollies, and what my recommendation is, I think it's a good idea, if you really want to get into it, to read an article that was written by my good friends Mark and Julie Bennett at RV Love. They full-timed across this country for quite some time and used a tow dolly behind their motorhome. They produced a really good article about it, and if you want some real-world experience, then read that article. I'm going to leave a link to it in the description of this video and podcast. Okay, so what should you keep in mind when you're buying a tow dolly? Number one, they're best for vehicles that are under 5,000 pounds, sometimes much less than that. Number two, make sure you check the maximum weight capacity of a tow dolly before you buy it. You need to match that to the vehicle that you're going to be towing. Also, number three, many states you're going to go through in your travels are going to require auxiliary lighting or more lighting than actually comes in a tow dolly, because the lights on a tow dolly are usually built right into the fenders, but the tow dolly is way up front. far ahead of the back of the vehicle. So it's a good idea to have at least some magnetic type lights that go on the back of the vehicle as an auxiliary lighting system as well. And that will make those states happy. The last point I want to make is that most people should not try to back up a tow dolly. I get asked that question all the time, but the simple truth is it's not an easy thing to do at all. If you do it for whatever reason, keep the distance very short, go straight back, and use a spotter to make sure you don't run into anything. But in general, my recommendation is just don't back up with a tow dolly. Okay, so let's get started now on the top 3 brands that I can recommend for tow dollies at this point. And we're going to start with the most expensive first and then work our way down in cost. So number 1 on the list is the Demco Car Caddy SS. And it's going to cost you about $5,000 or more brand new. Now, the good news is that it has a 4,800 pound maximum weight capacity, and that's pretty good. It accepts a lot of vehicles for towing. But it has a couple of really unique features that I think you need to look at. First of all, while you're towing the dolly, it will be about 133 inches long. But when you get where you're going, you can fold it down to 67 inches, almost in half. And that makes it a lot easier to store wherever you are on your campsite. The next feature that's really neat is that it comes with a steerable axle. That's really good for going around corners and especially tight situations. You'll appreciate having that. And finally, it does come with hydraulic surge brakes. Number 2 on our list is the Roadmaster tow dolly, and you probably recognize Roadmaster from flat towing because they make a lot of really good flat towing equipment. So they know quite a bit about towing. The interesting feature about their dolly is that it has slidable ramps that allow you to fit that to a lot of vehicles getting up onto the tow dolly, and that's a good feature. Here's another one. It comes with electric brakes. The reason I mention that is if you have a diesel engine in your motorhome that has an engine brake, if you have surge brakes back there on your tow dolly, sometimes the 2 braking systems start working against one another. So having electric brakes resolves any of the issues that you can have in that situation. So it's a good thing. The AccuLube hubs on the Roadmaster tow dolly make it very easy to maintain. You don't have to take anything apart to re-grease it. You just simply use a grease gun and keep it up easily. Now, the maximum weight capacity drops here, though, down to 4,250 pounds. But on the better side, it's only $3,500 brand new, so that's good. The final tow dolly we're going to talk about today is the least expensive one. It's the Master Tow 77T and 80 THD. And the 77T has a maximum weight capacity of 4,250 pounds, like the Roadmaster. But the 80 THD lets you tow up to 4,900 pounds of vehicle. And so that opens you up to more vehicles that you can actually tow dolly. It comes with surge brakes, but not a whole lot more. There's not a lot of features on the Master Tow, and that's why it's the least expensive tow dolly. You can buy them brand new, somewhere between $2,000 and $2,500 at this point. Well, those are the 3 tow dollies that I wanted to share with you in this video today, and I'm going to put links to all 3 in the description of the video and podcast, and you can go and get more details about them all. Now, here's an important point here. You can save a lot of money on tow dollies by buying them on the used market. Now, if you think about it, every year there's several full-time RVers or part-time RVers that stop what they're doing. And when they do, if they're using a tow dolly, they sell the tow dolly. And it's in great condition. It's a very good piece of equipment. So consider that. Take a look on the used market to see what you can find. Just be sure that that dolly is fully functional before you buy it. Also, a reminder, never exceed the weight rating of the tow dolly that you buy. If you do, you're asking for trouble. And a final point is, whatever vehicle you're going to tow, consult the owner's manual under the towing section and follow those instructions about how to set up that vehicle and how to tow that vehicle very carefully. If you want to succeed in towing a vehicle, follow those manufacturing instructions. Well, I hope this video is going to help you decide, first of all, whether you even want a tow dolly or not, and secondly, if you do, where you can go to find the one that's best for you. And that's it for now. Have safe and happy travels, my friends. Until next time.